Greetings in the wonderful name of my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. On this occasion of the ordination of Pastor Thandi Memani by the Apostolic Faith Mission. My name is Apostle Bheki H. Gama, who resides in East London, and who over the years interacted with Pastor Thandi Memani from the year 1991 when I accepted Jesus Christ at St. John's College High School in Umtata. But Thandi Memani at the time was the staff worker of the Students' Christian Movement, then called SCM, which in 1997 July became the Students' Christian Organization after the merger of Student Christian Association and the Student Christian Movement. But Thandi's character is a character that I want to affirm today for the ministry that he is being ordained to and for the task that God has put on his shoulder and the vision that God has assigned him for this time and age. Pastor Thandi Memani has the following characteristics that really prove to me that he is a man of God that is worthy of ordination today. His rearing and how he grew up in the things of God attests to the fact that he has had an accountability line. One of the most important things about Pastor Thandi Memani is his commitment to accountability. Because as a young man, he grew up under the tutelage of great men and women of God to whom he accounted. To mention but one, Pastor Eddie Mahlochana, may his soul rest in peace. Secondly, Thandi is a man whose pedigree is very clear. If you go down back in history to trace his life as a young man and to trace how he came to the Lord and how he was raised in faith, you can see a trail of a man whose kinship is very clear and whose origins are very clear. He is a man whose life is a testimony right from his youth. Number three, it is clear to me that Pastor Thandi Memani is a man who was raised to be in charge. All his life, he has done more and has been in charge of Christian organizations. To mention but one, his stewardship of the Student Christian Movement, a movement that gave birth to a lot of young men and young women who have now graduated and grown up to be adults. And one of the most important things about Pastor Thandi Memani is that he has a heart of a shepherd. He has a heart of a mentor. He has a heart of a coach. For me to have sustained that relationship with him in the past 30 years of my Christian walk with the Lord is a testimony that Thandi is a true shepherd indeed, and that Thandi is a coach and a mentor. A lot of us are picking lessons of life from him. How he loves his wife, how he loves his family, how he is resilient in times of crisis, how he is able to forgive in times of squabbles, in times of war, in times of schisms, both in the church and in the movement. But Thandi has maintained a solid head and a forgiving heart throughout the years. Number 4, I want to attest to the wisdom of the man. The wisdom of the man. Butandi is a man who totally depends on the divine God, on the God to be able to assist and deal with all the issues of life. Butandi's worldview is heavily influenced by his commitment to Jesus Christ. And as a result, his wisdom is unparalleled. Again, for him to have sustained relationships for over 30 years, not only just with me, but with many of us who grew up in the student Christian movement, it attests to the fact that Pastor Thandi Memani is a man of wisdom. Wisdom that carries him throughout the years. Number 5, I have noted that his life work and his philosophy in life is to build, and to build for God, to build human resources for God. I'm saying this because Thandi Memani has been instrumental in what in SCM we used to call the leadership training. Thandi believes in leadership development. He believes in leadership capacitation. He believes in identifying the talents, mentoring that talent, and coaching that talent. As I stand here, it is his philosophy of life and his life work that has influenced me from being a high school student through to university, and having graduated out of university through to the working life. Thandi has maintained a philosophy that says you are a Christian not only just in your private and in the closet, but you are a Christian in your home, you are a Christian in your school, you are a Christian in your community, you are a Christian in your society, you are a Christian in your country, you are a Christian in the workplace. So your walk in the workplace and your walk at home and your walk in the church should be the same. So his life work and his life philosophy is that Christianity is relevant in every world view, is relevant in every space. And therefore, we should not be ashamed of the gospel of Christ. Like Paul, who says in Romans chapter 1, verse 16, "For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is to me great power and leads to salvation." So one of the things I've learned about Thandi in his life work is to be a sacrifice. He sacrificed his life. He sacrificed a number of things that would have been beneficial to him, and chose to follow God and chose to serve God. Because in his philosophy, it pays to serve God. In his philosophy, to serve God is not too much to ask. Whenever God has needed Pastor Thandi Memani, he did not refuse the assignment that God was giving him. Thandi has worked for various organizations, the Student Christian Movement, and various organizations in the NGO sector and the development sector. He has worked for Christian social action organizations, and his commitment to the advancement of the gospel of Christ has never changed. I'm talking about the man that I've learned to know in the last 30 years. And I want to attest to the fact that the Apostolic Faith Mission has done a great job in identifying the gift of a shepherd, the gift of a pastor, the gift of a teacher in him. Because indeed, he is the teacher of the gospel of Christ. May the Lord bless you, and may the Lord be kind on you.